right, man. Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up? My name's Aeris. I'm here with,
Garrett keeping.
Roger Mowat.
and I believe they are Fear the Possessed. So tell me, Garrett, what is Fear the Possessed? You like to say that you're more than just like a band or a group or an act.
Well, there's a quote that if I could describe it sort of in one sentence, it would be an Albert Einstein quote. Great spirits will always encounter violent opposition from mediocre minds. So we are essentially a brand and an apparel movement before even the music in some cases. So it's a brand, and we are also releasing music. So the idea here is to raise enough profits through merch sales and the brand itself to put into recording and hiring guest guitar players, local musicians, and to get this up and running.
So I take it that like all a lot of this stems from like your mind.
Oh yes.
It comes from
This
it comes
is
from
my
your
vision,
mind.
100%.
Comes from your soul. Comes from your heart.
It comes from a fire that just won't go away.
What's the process? How do you go about actually like creating, like bring your head into the music? How do you create music, man?
With my mouth. Dig. The ideas don't stop, man. It's like it won't give up. It wants me dead. God damn that noise inside my head. It just, when I'm driving, when I'm anywhere, like, I mean, I used to get in trouble at work all the time because I'd have to like I'd be working construction and it seems early in the morning, I'd get the ideas, so I'd have to run to the John or run here or run there in a quiet space and be like, chicka, or fucking this, okay, put this fucking logo here or that shirt. It's just, it comes to you and then I mouth riffs and mouth riffs, and then I have to transcribe them to a killer.
Come to my studio and go, hey Raj. I'm like, okay.
Oh yeah, and you do it.
Yeah.
You accomplish it.
That's right.
I hope so.
It's painstaking sometimes because, you know, I gotta sit there and be like, no, not rugga-dugga-dugga, rugga-dugga-dug.
Yeah, you're chunking.
Yeah.
I want you to chunk.
We got that on recording.
Yeah.
Backtracks, we can show you.
Yeah.
Dude, you gotta have like a special feature where it's like, no, man, no, it's the chunk,
Yeah,
not chunk.
And I used to play, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I played drums. That's how I started in music, and I was actually really good, and then I don't know why I fizzled off that. I could still hold a beat down, and then I was actually a really good guitar player for a while, but I fizzled out of that. So I wish, in retrospect, I kept up with guitar and just did, you know.
You still can.
I sort of just rely on my intensity, my persona, and my mouth riffage.
It's never too late, man.
It's never too late.
I took lessons for a bit. It was weird.
I'm going to take up painting, too, I think, maybe again, so...
Yeah, I ended up starting bouncing. It was like a
Lessons.
direct deposit, and I started bouncing.
Lessons?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like, 'cause most people I know that play music, I've heard this so many times, like that are like the best writers and actors are like fluid. Like once you start trying to teach that stuff with like, you know, structure, that's where I get confused. You start counting rhythms to me, I'm like, I don't get it. I just feel it. Right? Is that?
Yeah, man. You know, I want to snap back to
Okay.
when you said like you used to like just junk at like work and like around the town and stuff, because like even to this day, dude, I'll be like at a red light and I'll be like,
Yeah.
and like people will be watching me. I'll be putting on a show. People will be laughing at me, and I'll be like, hey, you like that? Because like I'm not stopping.
Right?
But now I gotta
almost
go.
show off.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not stopping at this red light.
No, fuck that.
Yeah, we're going all the way.
Better than picking up your phone or something, man.
Right? And then it's 2 and 10 when it turns green.
Yeah.
Because safe driving is important, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But actually, that's where I deliver pizzas, and a lot of my creative ideas actually really do come
On the move.
from, man, because there's science behind that. Like when you're driving or doing some sort of autonomic sort of task, your brain, that's when it has a chance to get creative. And I do notice when I'm delivering pizzas and driving a lot of creative energy comes. So I have to have my phone ready to record quietly and inconspicuously. But yeah.
So growing up, where did you grow up?
Maple Ridge.
Maple Ridge. Growing up in Maple Ridge, when was like the
Canada,
first...
Vancouver.
When was the first strike of lightning? Like when did like you realize that, you know, like this is, I like music, I want to do music, like I'm going to put something together and make music. And we'll start with you, Garrett, and we'll move on to you.
When I dropped acid.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That was it?
I was in Maple Ridge. I was like 17 or 18, and the scene in Maple Ridge back in like way early 2020, way early in the 2000s, the late 90s. There was like in Maple Ridge, there was like a really cool, bustling hippie scene, like real hippies, all dready hippies playing acoustic guitars in right uptown. So you'd skip school, go uptown, and there's all these hippie kids playing music. And I was always tappy and very artistic. I just painted lots of pictures when I was young. I was always very creative. But it was then that I hung with these hippie dudes that were older than me, and they fed me acid. I was willing.
How old are you?
I was like 17 or 18. And then I went to their house one time, and I picked up a drum set, and I was just like high, and I'm like dum dum, where I played the guitar, and I just taught myself literally to play, just through feel, man. Cool. Yeah.
How about you?
I was pretty much self-taught. Metallica, Ride the Lightning, and Kill 'Em All albums in 1984.
Wow.
1985, yeah.
They
Then
did it.
I was like, hey, Mom, what's that instrument that goes... I think that's a guitar, son. I want one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
So Fear the Possessed, where does that come from? Where did you come up with like the name? I know it's a cliche thing to say, but you want this to be a brand, right?
It is a brand, yeah.
Yeah, so it is a brand. So where did you come up with the actual like Fear the Possessed? Did you have like some sort of like, did you have any religious ideology growing up as a kid? Did anyone try to impose that on you growing up at all? Or like how did you channel that?
Through the art of suffering. And pure disappointment, and being kicked out of bands, or having to quit bands, or being misunderstood constantly, or fucking by bosses, or by parents, or by peers, by, just being an intense human being who's possessed with ambition.
So you're the possessed.
I am the fucking possessed. Where a lot of people are. And our society fears those who are possessed with great ideas, as we can plainly fucking see in 2020. But, it came from just, I don't actually remember where the hell I came up with the name. It came to me. I was actually trying to think about that, but you're possessed with an idea, with a passion, like I'm high energy, and it's just I'm possessed with this ambition, and it fucks with people and scares people away, and I've learned to be alone and happy with that. So it's the message also of recovery, like those that come out of addiction become possessed with ambition. A lot of the greatest minds in the world were addicts. Like look at the musicians, the actors, some of the CEOs. Like people cure their addiction through suffering. They learn who they truly are, and then they can get out into the world and they can do amazing things. And that's essentially what this brand is about: self-belief, impact, motivation, and addiction recovery, man.
You talk about addiction recovery. I take it you've obviously like had struggles.
Yeah.
What's the darkest moment that you've had?
I would say breakups with like love, being crushed from like love. It's like when you like being abandoned or misunderstood, like just left because it breakups, heartbreak. It's been some of the darkest periods of my life. Just sitting there in an alleyway when like my headphones and the metal music was like literally my only friend, and just like downing straight vodka, like just to try to figure it out. I've had some very long periods of time just sitting in parks and alleyways drinking.
Do you find?
Sorry.
No, man, I interrupted you,
No,
but
that's
it just got me thinking, dude. Because like, I mean, obviously I've been there, still go there, and like it's. I mean, relapse rate's like 95%, you know what I mean? And I think it's important for people to understand that, like...
Progress, not perfection.
Absolutely, dude. And, like, it's constant work, and, like, everything in life, you've got to, like, tear down to build yourself back up again, you know?
Yes, and that's what it is. It's about failing forward. And that's what I've done, and that when circling right back to what Fear the Possessed is that's what it's brought. This is beautiful. I've failed myself forward, and then it's brought so many things now back again. Like I'm on another plateau right now, and a lot of things are going really good again, and a lot of people are reaching out, and that's what it is. It's just keep pushing forward. I mean, we're all on a giant pool pinball table game, you know. I mean, it's pretty chaotic. There's some things that happen that are tragic, but I believe in the great synchronistic algorithm. I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. There's a great David Bowie quote: "Religion is for those who fear hell. Spirituality is for those who have been there." But we're on that ping that pinball table, and we got the paddles. So, get in the game, I guess. Try to get that high score. Keep going.
I just thought about I had this vision of you tripping on acid for the first time.
Playing pinball.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? You seem like a quite a visual person.
Oh, yeah.
How do you transpose that visual aspect into your musical creative process?
I hire fucking geniuses like Roger to join my projects and vision, along with a couple other guitar players I won't mention yet, but I just, I would just go, hey, I got this great idea, hey, Oke, hey, Aeris, hey, this guy, hey, people, I got a vision, I need some help, let's get it down, let's bring it to fruition. This moment is awesome, because I got friends and I've manifested.
We all help each other, man.
That's what
you do. That's what life's
That's
about.
another message is that I think the metal community is missing here. We gotta stop. This is really important. We need to start remembering that we're all flying under the same flag. I see so much division on social media and opinions. Who asked your fucking opinion on the Iron Maiden concert or the last album they put out? Or who asked your opinion on this riff or that person? Why are we fucking ripping apart people's creative endeavors? Or why, you know what I mean? Or this metal elitist, not this, that. We should all be working together. High tide raises all ships.
That's right. Let's not fear the positivity, man.
No.
Fear
the possessed.
That's right. Because music at the end of the day is about transposing our deepest, darkest pain into something other people can feel with their ears, and that turns into visual, and that turns into everything, and that's what you're doing here, man. It's you're taking your moments, your struggles, your failures, your successes, and you're blending it all up into this sound that we can then take apart and we can that's what music is.
And give it to you.
Yeah, man.
We're giving our souls to people.
Yeah, that's what music is.
And I think as big bands post, if you ever look at a metal injection or Blabbermouth post on Instagram, it's just thousands and thousands of people shitting on stuff. Those are people too. Just because they've made it doesn't mean they're I'm sure they don't really care when they're touring the world living their dreams.
No, I think that does affect them. I know for a fact.
In fact,
that people
I know
say they can't
a
read
few
that
famous
comments.
people.
You know what I mean?
It does affect. They go. It's not something we enjoy looking at.
Because reading comments is a lot like listening to music in a way that you're just reading it, so you create that voice inside your head. I've had people, I'm not going to say names or anything, but they're reading out comments, and it's man, this chick is such a a bitch because she said this to me. Yeah, well, I hope to see you tomorrow, but I know for a fact she doesn't want to see me because last week she was kind of rolled her eyes at me, and I got this you know what I mean? So it's well, how do you know that they don't want to see you tomorrow? They just said they hope to see you tomorrow, but you're reading it in a negative context, and that's what everything is when you come to reading comments, right? You're putting your own bias.
I can't tell you how many band fights exploded in a fucking in a message thread, right? It's just out of context, and that's the other thing I've noticed with all this mental elitism and these issues that we see, these comments on social media. When you go to a concert, it ain't there. When I go to Guar, when I went to Lamb of God, when I go to fucking Exodus Testament, when I'm about to go to L7, when I was at all these shows since the pandemic, since everything opened again, it's still, if you fall in the pit, you're picked back up. And that's what we should be doing in everyday life. So it's just a strange time. That's just the nature of social media, right?
Yeah, it's about clicks too, right? Because you go on Dave Chappelle said something transphobic. And you think that the audience would be booing him, but he's selling out arenas constantly, so clearly there's people that are just going to laugh and to take things lightly, and that's the same with metal, you know what I mean? Or any sort of genre, you're not going there to be angry, you're going there to feel the positivity and have a kinship with people who share the same mode and mentality as you. So tell me, I know for a fact you have the craziest stage presence. Mm-hmm. You do. I remember the first time I watched you play.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Bro,
appreciate that.
I remember it.
But it's been so shitty because I've had really bad luck and then the pandemic and haven't been able to play on stage in almost 4 years.
That's travesty. Seriously, you're so good.
I'm very misunderstood and it's frustrating. So it's never about the Garrett show. It's about the vision, and that's bringing back to like why I'm doing this now is I'm just taking matters into my own hands and bringing on professionals and people that are professional that just want to join an established vision. So I can, but also like instead of just being a rock star on stage and I'm singing and I want my stage presence to empower people that are struggling with mental health and addiction. Like when I first got into music, it was like I want to be Motley Crue, I want to get all the babes, I'm the man, fucking
of course.
Fail, just went right down in a burning ring of fire. And now that I've healed and done a lot of work on myself, I'm able to see the light clearly, and that's now like no, I'm high energy, and I was given this gift from the fucking gods to share, to motivate and inspire with impact, with a positive metal attitude.
A positive metal attitude. So what? Going back to like when was the first time you got on stage and you were like, shit, like this is it, like I can actually do this?
I think it was a backyard barbecue party I put on called the Warbecue. Shout out to Jamin, Ken Roth, Colin Brusick, fucking who else? Oh, John. That was a long ass time ago. It was a backyard party that I put on, and I think it just went. It was packed, and then I was like, "This is great."
And you got the vibes.
Yeah, I can't honestly remember my first time on a real stage. I don't know. Oh, maybe that was the Wolf. The Wolf. I think we did a live show at the Wolf in Maple Ridge like forever ago.
So tell me.
No, you know what? That's wrong. I was a drummer in a band called Push.
This is why I love you. This is great.
I was a drummer first, and because someone will correct me, I know it. And I was a drummer first, so my first live performance was a band called Pushed at a church for a Tim Hortons mental health benefit. Actually, way years ago, we played out there in. That was cool. But I mean, we were too loud for them, so they shut us down.
That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
Being shut down is like one of the greatest, like, being shut down because you're rocking out and trashing shit way too hard. That's a story, bro.
Yeah.
And life's a book.
I love it. It is. And I am an open book, as everybody knows.
So what do you say to the people who are like, fucking Garrett is like impossible to work with? Garrett's a piece of shit. He's this, he's that. Like, what do you say to those people who don't understand, like the complex like pinata that is you, bro?
I say you're lost, man. If I am not. I don't know. I say, I wish you nothing but the best, because even my haters inspire me to keep going just as much as my followers and friends and family. And it's just made me stronger to keep going and just to get my message out there. It's
right on.
It's just, I'd rather just, some days it hurts like a motherfucker, right? Being misunderstood and ditched and cast aside like you're worthless. But if you have the integrity to get up and go and take the lessons and accept responsibility for those issues, you will become a fucking metal god.
I think that people take strong personalities.
Wrong.
Yeah, man.
In fact, you're in the intro, I'd like to point out, of our song Fear the Possessed.
That's kind of cool that you took that. And
I vented to you because I was broken.
Yeah.
Every person who does great things, especially in the arts, especially as a frontman,
That was him. I was brokenhearted, and I fucking sent you that, and you just sent that beautiful message that made me tear up and get goosebumps. And I said, and there's the stroke of genius. I was like, this is going in. Roger, I got this fucking idea.
Dude.
And then you're in, man. So you gotta look for Aeris. He's the guy in the intro on a Facebook recorded message.
I'm so glad you could take some of my almost semi-coherent babbling and
brilliant
into something worth it, man. Because I'm the same way. People have taken me out of context for my big personality, and I've tried to compartmentalize myself, and turn it, always grow and not dwell on it, but it happens,
It's hard.
It's hard,
That's
man.
life too, even with relationships and job losses and everything, man. I'm just very into the self-development, discipline, fitness, health, mental health world now, and there's so much to be learned there.
There's so much to be learned.
You can learn a lot and then just apply it to everything, right? We're just so distracted with, hey, listen, I love a Netflix bender, as much as the next person, but there's a time and a place for all things that we consume that are distracting.
Tell me about the darkest place that substance use or the most fucked up you've been like the darkest place you've gone to mentally?
Fuck, crack. When I was a cracked out
Yes!
addict, I was like,
It's always gonna be crack.
just yeah,
It's
like,
always gonna be crack.
just-
It's always gonna get you there.
I'll be honest, man. Just like, you know, just pornography, scrolling. Well, I don't even think we had phones back then, but like that. But like just pornographic, fucking cracked out, obsessive, taking. Just you lose it. You get like a methed out. Like you're a shell of who you are. I mean, I used to play a lot of gnarly guitar on meth, and I was like, I was getting really good. But the darkest places were like crack houses and like they used to call me 10 Rock because I would just get one little 10 piece at a time. Because I was like, I'll be done after this. I'll be done after this. And fucking all
You're not done until your money's gone, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I wised up and would just get meth because it was cheaper and fucking. It's just gross. Luckily, I grew out of all of that. I never used treatment or anything to get off the hard drugs. I just grew out of them. But then alcohol became that went into an alcohol addiction, and that was like a decade of my life. Just.
Yeah,
that was the hardest one to get rid of.
It is the hardest one to get rid of because it's everywhere, you know? Alcohol is one of the most destructive drugs there is, and it's like people like to shit on crackheads or like any sort of opiate user, but I mean your grandma's on Percocet, bro, and that's heroin. So
right,
an opiate's an opiate. There's opiate receptors in your brain, right? Like you take an opiate, you're on fentanyl. You take any opiate, you're on whatever A, B, C, D, E, because they all release the same sort of endorphins, just in a different way.
And we see a lot of people like the biggest thing out here in Vancouver on the downtown east side of Maple Ridge, it seems to be opiate use and fentanyl, which is like just crazy, and meth, I think, are the big ones.
Yeah, man, meth is marketed in America as an ADHD treatment for kids.
In small, and it's just like whoa. And I mean that opens up a whole rabbit hole of the pharmaceutical industry and everything else.
Yeah, I mean it opens up the whole rabbit hole of like.
I don't want to get canceled before I get going here.
Yeah, it's okay, man. It's like everything is what you make it. You know what I mean? Drugs are what you make them. It doesn't matter like what you do. It matters who you are. You know, and 100%. I think that comes down to like you in like a package, bro. It doesn't matter like what you've done or who you what you've. Sort of people that you've maybe spoken to loudly to, you know what I mean? It matters who you are as a human being, and you are like genuinely a good person, and you're genuinely like somebody.
Everybody here.
Yeah, man, you're somebody who just wants their vision to come out. You know what I mean? And like, I don't think we need to fear the possessed.
Necessarily.
I don't think we need to, but you know what? Maybe we should.
Fuck yeah! And always remember, keep a positive mental.
Fuck yeah, Garrett, thank you so much.
Right on, dude. Thank you so much.
Love you, man.
Fuck yeah.
Group hugs.
Group hug.